And we're live.
Oh,
Guys?
Guys. We sorry, we got these new chairs. They're really comfortable.
Insanely comfortable.
Yeah. I fell asleep.
So did I. And I'm not sorry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Versus Live. I am Todd Anderson.
And I'm Ross Marion.
And today we got Taylor in the booth because our good buddy Rob is, we'll just say he's AFK. He's from Louisville. This weekend is SCG Louisville. He went early to hang out with the boys, and then he's going to probably work in that event if I recall correctly. So, what do we got on the docket today, Ross? Besides these nice little comfy chairs.
Yeah, it's really just the chairs. We're just going to have 3 hours of us napping.
Oh yeah,
that was the plan.
Wait, are we? If we're sponsored by, can we be sponsored by them? Can we try so we can just be like, hey,
we are for SCG Con. I don't know for sure.
Sure.
Well, we got fancy new chairs, and it's great. And we also have some fancy new decks, or at least updates on decks that we played a little bit with last week.
Yeah.
But, we had our second Standard Open post War of the Spark last weekend in the city that we were in, Syracuse.
There it is.
And, that there was a deck that sort of rose above the rest in this Jeskai Superfriends archetype that John Rolfe originated, and then the Team Lotus Box, and in particular Zan Syed, if we're to believe what everyone told us, worked very diligently in updating the deck and tuning it and taking it to another level, and they had a great tournament. So multiple claims from them that they broke standard, or claims from other people. So we're going to put that to the test today. We're going to play against a little bit of a gauntlet here. I've got Todd's going to be on the Jeskai side of things. I'm going to be playing mono red aggro, the default aggro deck. Another strong performance from this deck as well.
Yeah, 3 top 8s, really huge. Especially normally when you get deeper into a format, the mono red decks actually start to fall off a little bit because everyone else kind of catches up as far as building their mana base correctly, having the right answers to the right threats. But I think the mono red deck is just so consistent and so powerful thanks to things like Experiment of Frenzy and now Chandra Fire Artisan that it just has this kind of overwhelming amount of card advantage in an aggro deck, and you don't usually get to see that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this, a year or two ago when Mono Red was doing really well, back when it had Hazaret, but it also had Chandra, Torch of Defiance, and
Glorybringer at the top end sometimes. Yeah.
So there's a really strong top end that gained a lot of card advantage along with those early draws that could just run you over. And this red deck has the same feel to it. Been doing well. I've got Harlan Fear's list here, a second consecutive top 8 for him. So another strong showing. Then later in the show, we're going to be playing Kenta Hiroki's Esper midrange deck. The only Esper midrange player to make it into the top 8 is listed a little bit different than the ones we had been seeing. We've got 4 main deck copies of Basilica Bellhaunt in that, which not only is great against mono red, but I think might be good at just pressuring these planeswalkers out of the Jeskai deck.
Yeah,
all your red removal.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit better against the planeswalker decks than I know that Misplaced Ginger was playing the
Elite Guard Mage.
Yeah, that Mold Drifter proxy or whatever. I mean, I like Basilica Bellhaunt. It's one of the better cards against red, and with red making 3 top 8s, I think that that's a smart place to be.
Yeah, and then we're gonna finish up with an Is It Phoenix list that is my update from the list that I played last weekend to a 25th place finish. I think my main deck was very close to where I wanted it, and the sideboard needed some work, so I've updated the sideboard.
Your main deck was really close to where you wanted it.
Yeah.
How close was it? One card off. The one card off you changed from my list I sent you.
Was I 1 card different than your list?
Yeah.
I don't. Well, I changed. I think 2 cards.
No,
maybe 1.
You cut a Beacon Bolt.
Oh, the Beacon Bolt I liked in the sideboard.
But you cut the sideboard for Discovery number 2 in the main deck.
Yeah, that's still there.
Yeah, but that was
the only thing I did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sideboard changed a fair amount, so we got an updated Phoenix list.
Yeah, yeah.
It was one of the most played decks in the tournament. Did not make a top 8.
Got 9th.
Yeah,
Kevin Jones actually beat you playing for what you thought you were playing for 9th and 10th, and I think if you had won, you actually would have got in on breakers.
No, I was almost a percentage point behind Kenta, but okay. Kevin was like 10 percentage points behind. His breakers were horrendous because he started the tournament 1-2. We were playing for 9th and 10th, but there was a weird pairing where Zan got paired down in the last round, played it out, and beat the person on the pair down, so that knocked into the person below us. If Zan had lost his pair down, we would have been playing for 10th. Instead, we played for 9th. Kevin got that in the mirror, so And then we had Daniel Fournier lost a winning in with it. So
yeah, I was actually
several
covering
near misses.
Yeah, I was covering his feature match. He was playing against Mono Red, and he had a real nail biter where basically his Mono Red opponent was on very low resources, and he had like 2 Arclight Phoenix playing defense against a few creatures. And his opponent just like, oh, Peel Experimental Frenzy, like burn, untap, burn, you're dead.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
So I believe these were the 3 most popular decks in day 2 of the tournament. I think it was Mono Red, Izzet Phoenix, Esper midrange in that order. Maybe Jeskai Planeswalkers might have been third.
There was
up there.
I believe 6 Jeskai Planeswalker decks in day 2.
Not a lot because it was a big day 2, and then 3 in that top 8, 2 in the top 4, taking down the trophy. So really impressive performance. I'm ready to put it to the test.
Yeah, we're going to be playing 3 matches today. If you have any questions, we're actually taking all sorts of questions today because we have Modern Horizons previews that have been flooding in since this past weekend. We're going to be doing featuring Modern Horizons next week, but we're doing it all next week. This weekend, we do have SCG Louisville, so on Thursday we're going to be playing current Modern because War of the Spark actually had a pretty huge effect on Modern. Cards like Narset, Parter of Veils, and a number of other War of the Spark cards.
Karn, the Great Creator.
Yeah, have been making huge waves in the format, and so in order to get people prepared for that, we haven't really done that, so we're going to get people prepared for the new Modern format, and then next week we're going to go deep into Modern Horizons previews and test those out. So but today, playing Standard, checking out this Jeskai Super Friends deck. Let's go and get to the match.
Yep.
And I have the marbles. You get to go first.
That is how it works. We got Mono Red up first. For your questions and concerns, be sure to tag at SCG Tour in the chat, and Taylor will take a look at them and pick his best ones and throw them over to us.
Well, a huge percentage right now are asking where is Ross, or they found Waldo. So solid shirt choice.
I really like his shirt.
It's a good shirt, and people are like, I can't find Ross. Like, if you can't find Ross, he's wearing camo. You have found Ross. I do like the comment is like, where is it? Meandering Miriam. Can you find him at the XSIGG event?
Meandering Miriam.
Shy Guy Sky 94. Great job.
I've played some Meandering Tower Shells in Limited before. I'm going to start with a Lava Runner here. I got a solid opening hand.
Go.
No shock is excellent for me. Attack you for 1.
19.
Brings you to 19, and then I will play a Evasion of Pyromancer, get you 17.
Yep.
You're up. Go. Attack you for 3.
I'm going to shock on the Pyromancer.
Okay, you take 1, brings you to 16.
Yep.
Okay, let's start with a light up the stage.
Spell Pierce it.
Nice.
And here's the weird thing about this, because Ross I'm pretty sure he has a land from the look on his face, and like he can play around it, but playing around it makes the light up the stage a lot worse if he hits lands off of it. So,
given that Todd shocked pretty aggressively there, I'm going to assume he doesn't have a Clarion right now. Got the Steamkin down.
Yeah, I'm going to cast an Op, just looking for one of my other shocks or the Lightning Strike. That is one we can keep. I mean, we might just die, but go.
Oh, God. Ross Warium. That's great.
Okay, we drew the 4th land, and this isn't getting Spell Pierced because Todd doesn't have any blue mana untapped.
Yeah.
So let's play that, trigger the Steamkin, and mash for 3, and plus this.
I'm at 13.
You can go. Very strong start on my end. 1-drop, 2-drop, double spell into Chandra.
Yeah, we'll play Deafening Clarion. Here you go.
Okay.
Chandra is quite good against me. It's actually better against me, I think, than Experimental Frenzy. I have only like 1 Teferi I can interact with it.
Pass the turn.
I'm going to play Interplanar Beacon. Gonna play Sarkhan, gain a life.
Brings you to 16.
And I'm gonna minus and make a dragon.
Okay.
Should we have me at 14?
Yeah.
Oh,
14.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Somehow I added 1 to 13 and got 16.
I'm assuming Sarkhan's gonna die?
Not sure. So I just have a Lightning Strike here, and I have plenty of mana, so I think I want to hold it and see if I can like finagle these things to work better. Because say I draw like Shock and Chain Whirler off of this, or something like that, or Chain Whirler and Fanatical Firebrand.
Sure.
It's going to be a lot better for me to not strike the Sarkhan now, and it's hard for me to imagine that I draw 5 mana worth of cards. Okay, so that's a good start. Let's plus this, and not great, but we do have an easy way to answer this Sarkin. It's good, but we'll pass. You know, the 4/4 attacking Chandra is not a big deal because it's going to deal 4 to Todd.
Yeah, but I have to clear the Chandra.
Yeah, if it ultimates, you're probably just dead.
All right, hit Chandra for 4. I go to 10.
Yep.
Play a Hallowed Fountain, tap, and say go. Your upkeep, I'm going to shock the Pyromancer.
Okay. And that's a good draw. So we'll plus the Chandra. Always want to start there. Another land. Play a Chain Whirler. Deal you 1.
At 9.
And Lightning Strike the...
Yeah, the Spell Pierce is not doing it, so I'm probably dead because of that. I really need to clear Chandra. Even though I was going to 5, that's like his main form of card advantage right now, and we're dead.
Yeah, with you at 9 here. Like,
Spell Pierces are not good in this matchup. Even though they can sometimes tag a Frenzy or a Light Up the Stage or a Chandra or whatever, they're just so bad in so many spots.
yeah, it's the kind of card that like is really good across the format because it can be good in this matchup.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to board it out.
All right, we're going to play one more pre-board game here. Try to do a best of 5 against Mono Red most of the time just because game 1 matters a lot and the games go pretty quick. Any questions while we're shuffling up here for game 2?
Yeah, Death Magic, since he can't see Ross. Todd, what is your opinion on 4-color Super Friends decks? Also rising popularity. We can also put in like Esper Super Friends. What do you think about the other Super Friends decks?
I like the ones with black. I think the Elder Spell is insane under right now. I mean, if you can use it aggressively with something like Teferi here, Dominaria, or Liliana Dreadhorde General to get your ultimate off quickly, it just also has that added value of being able to pop off all of your opponent's Planeswalkers, which, you know, initially I didn't think that was going to be very good, but the more I play in the format, the more the Planeswalkers that are seeing a lot of play just kind of are floating around constantly. You know, they don't really die very easily, so... I don't know. I like the black ones. I'm not a huge fan of the Command the Dreadhorde decks, but I do like the Super Friends decks. I do think Command the Dreadhorde is a messed up Magic card, though. But if you don't have a Wild Growth Walker, like, it just doesn't really do anything. You just can't. You get back like 2 permanents for 6 mana, and that's okay, I guess. But you're taking like 8 damage. I'll keep in mind.
Same.
All right, let's go ahead and start off Hallowed Fountain.
Mountain.
No 1-drop is really good for me. Go.
Vision of Pyromancer.
That's fine. I'm at 18.
Pass.
I don't have a shock yet, but I'm going to opt here and look for one. Bottom of land. Yeah, we don't need land. I said I don't need a land. Deck? Come on. All right, let's go.
Which one we got?
Is that even good?
You have to fairy bounce my Pyromancer.
Yes, I don't think it's that good. It does slow you down, but like I'm basically just forcing you to recast it, and you're just going to kill Teferi, and I cycle Teferi. So I'm just going to use it as Repulse, I guess. But Chain Whirler here would be pretty annoying. We're going to bluff a Spell Pierce, I think.
Well, your bluff is actually really threatening to what my hand is and might change my play.
Good.
Yeah, I think I can afford to wait a turn. So let's just Pyromancer and deal with the Teferi and pass.
Todd Inferno is wondering if you're going to steal one of these chairs and start streaming again.
Yes. I actually just got a new chair, but it's not a gaming chair. It's just like a computer chair, and I don't really like it very much.
You're not supposed to say that part out loud.
All right, here we go.
Firebrand.
I will.
I would have liked that Firebrand last turn. That would have been quite the draw, but now it's okay.
Gonna Lightning Strike on the Pyromancer. Take 1 at 17.
Okay, I will play a Light Up the Stage.
Okay. Didn't have the Pierce.
I will play this mountain and pass the turn.
That's unfortunate. Alright, I'm going to play a Teferi and tick up.
In response to the Teferi, I'll lightning strike you.
Sure, go to 14.
Yep. Just trying to use my mana efficiently here.
Your turn. Just getting absolutely punished. If I really needed to draw a red source last turn, then I could have done some cool stuff, but that's why I chose the lightning strike over shock.
Attack Teferi? Do I even care?
I don't know. I try not to kill Teferi unless like it's dead, because the bounce is like not very good against almost all your creatures.
Yeah, attack you.
13.
Light up the stage.
Sure.
Play this.
Yeah.
You're 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then play land and light up the stage.
Sure.
Pass. Ugh. I was hoping to hit a land in one of those and I'd be able to just double spell off that.
What do you mean, ugh? You're winning by a lot.
I'm not going to be able to cast all my spells.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Deck. Come on, deck.
I mean, you're at 12. Your hand was good. You might be able to do something.
All right. Let's go Sarkin.
You go to 13.
And if I tick up, I can attack with a Teferi for 4 and try to start trying to close the game. It's going to die to the Goblin Chain Whirler. If I tick down, I'm going to make a Dagron, and then a 3 damage burn spell will clear both the Dragon and the Sarkin when combined with the Chain Whirler. So I think I just tick up.
I like ticking up. So I'm at 16.
Yeah, your turn. And if he wants to apply 6 points to the Sarkin, that's good for me too.
Okay. We hit our land, so that's good. Play a Chain Whirler, you go to 14. Play Fanatical Firebrand, attack Sarkin for 2, and then strike it.
I'm going to shock a Firebrand.
Do I have to throw them both away? Because you have shock up?
Maybe, I don't know, dude.
I mean, it's all on the table.
It's going to 1. I don't think that's that big of a deal, because it just ticks up and attacks for 4.
Okay.
You also can just choose not to lightning strike the Sarkin if you want at that point. But
no, I think I do.
Okay.
Actually, maybe I don't. This deck's so hard.
I agree.
Yeah, you only have 2 cards in hand. I think I want to deal with this.
Okay.
So let's put it to 1. You're at 14? From the Chain Whirler?
Should be
I had
12.
you at 13 before.
13?
I think I gained 13
that's a 3.
to Sarkin,
Okay.
and then I'm down to 12 from the
Yeah.
Chain Whirler.
Okay, 12. Yeah, no, I misread my 3 as a 5.
Okay. I go?
Yep.
Dexterity error. Game loss.
Tick up. Splice. Attack gain 4. So 12 to 16.
Oh. Not a problem at all.
Go. Actually, I'm going to tap this over this.
Kill a Sarkin.
Sarkin dead.
Chain Whirler.
Yeah, I'm at 15.
You can go.
15.
Yeah, I gained 4 life last turn.
Uh-huh.
Alright, let's play another Sarkin, and I will this time make a dragon and play my land. And I'll gain a life. I'm at 16 again.
One card in hand.
Yep.
Attack the Sarkin.
Trigger.
It takes 1.
Okay, shock it.
Jesus.
What life totals do you have? I'm sorry.
I'm at 16, he's at 12.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no
Sorry,
worries.
everyone.
There's a lot of little incremental life gains from the interplanar beacon and stuff, so
You can go.
could be a little better about it. Hit you for 4 down to 8.
Yep.
And say go.
Attack for 2.
14 to 8.
Out and go.
It's definitely not you, Todd. I'm distracted by all these Ross Warium.
4.
4 to 14, your turn.
Ooh, that's a good pull.
Not really. Seeing as I'm at 4. Chandra? Plus. It's not going to do it. I guess I was supposed to just double strike the dragon and then play Lava Runner and attack Sarkhan with both.
Maybe. It's hard to play.
It's the only way to play around Shock, I guess. But it would have basically left me with it would have left me with just those 2 creatures and you with nothing.
I do pretty aggressively kill the dragon,
creature.
Just because the dragon represents so much annoyance.
Yeah.
But with 2 strikes in hand, like the Sarkhan's checked, you can draw any burn spell to double kill the dragon later on. Like, you just missed on a burn spell for, what, 3 draws there? So,
yeah, I mean, I
guess kind of 4 looks, too, because 2 draw steps. The Chandra was a draw step, and then it rebought looking for another one, right?
Yeah, but that's not missing on 4 looks because one of the looks gave me the extra one. It's just missing on 3 looks when I have some redraws.
Yeah, 3 look redraw. Whatever, dude. Okay, Mr. Semantics. All right, so get your questions in. We're going to be taking quite a few after we get done with sideboarding, probably 4 or 5. So, and we're going to just like kind of fire through them. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the short break. We'll get sideboards together. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Guys, sideboards.
Man, these are they're just too comfortable. Dang. All right, Ross, you're up.
We're going to need to take longer breaks.
Yeah. Or just get more sleep.
We're going to take a half an hour between matches so Todd and I can get a nice
Tell me about your sideboard. Let's go.
Okay, so I sort of take issue with a lot of the way these mono red sideboards are built. I think they just have way too many slow cards, and for like a 20 land deck, I just don't want to put in that many more 4s.
Yeah, especially without like any extra lands in the sideboard to bring in. Like,
yeah,
you know, there are matchups where I feel like you want Frenzy and Chandra and Rekindling Phoenix, and like you just gotta pick one. Like, you can't have it all.
Yeah,
otherwise, like, Light Up the Stage just becomes unplayable.
Agreed. Yeah, so you got to be wary of your curve. I'm raising it some. I want to try out Tybalt just because it can be like a reasonable threat of letting you sort of diversify your damage and deal with planeswalkers efficiently. It also stops the life gain from Interplanar Beacon, Deafening Clarion, and Lyra Dawnbringer. So there's a lot of life gain out of the Jeskai deck. So I think this could be an effective card in the matchup. Todd's not really very good at pressuring planeswalkers. It's probably going to trade for at least a shock after making 2 devils, or I can just leave it on 3 if the life gain is problematic. And I definitely want the 3rd Frenzy. Shock, pretty clearly, I think the worst card in the deck, so I just wanted to get all of those out. We got 4 cards that I want to try. Easy swap.
All right, from my side, as we talked about, I thought Spell Pierce, like, there are times where it's going to be nuts, right? Ross taps out for an Experimental Frenzy or Chandra, and I tag it for 1 blue mana. But then you're going to have games where you draw Spell Pierce on turn 5 or 6 after you just need literally anything to stabilize, and it's just going to do nothing. In this particular matchup, Mox Amber is also a bit weak because a lot of your 3-mana Planeswalkers just immediately die after you use them. So I like trimming one of the Mox Ambers. I do like it when you draw it with Saheeli. So we are leaving in the 1 for that upside of Saheeli into Mox Amber plus Shock for that potential nut draw. But in this particular matchup, drawing one of these is just a little too inconsistent. You saw that game, like, it didn't do anything. It was just like a bad land.
Yeah.
As far as what we're bringing in, obviously Lyra Dawnbringer, home run, really tough for the red decks to deal with. They basically need 2 burn spells, 2 copies of Lava Coil. This is kind of a hedge for Phoenix as well as Prison Realm. They're just cards that can catch a lot of different things that Ross can be throwing at us. Prison Realm also quite good against the sideboards that feature a lot of Tybalt as well as Chandra, Fire Artisan. And then a 4th Deafening Clarion is another sweeper to buy us some time. So this swap is fairly clean. Time Reveler is not great in the matchup. Mostly it just comes down, bounces a creature, but almost all the creatures in Ross's deck have an enter the battlefield ability, whether it's Chainwhirler to finish it off or Pyromancer to finish it off, or they're just a 1-mana creature that gets haste immediately and can kill it. So it just cycles most of the time, and that's not that good.
Yeah, still serviceable.
I do like Narset. Narset can find a Deafening Clarion, and that's huge. And also it takes a little more effort to kill it once you cast it and minus it once.
Is there a reason you don't want to bring in any copies of Dovin's Veto? So stop those burn spells, or?
Yeah, so same reason I'm cutting Spell Pierce is why I'm not bringing a Veto. You want to be really proactive with your answers. Like you want answers to creatures specifically or planeswalkers specifically. Too often against aggressive decks, they go under you, where they go triple 1-drop or 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and you get the spots where Dovin's Veto or Spell Pierce become functionally dead because you have to tap out for Deafening Clarion and play your removal spells during the attack phase, or just like continually tapping out to put pressure on the battlefield to close the game so Experimental Frenzy doesn't just beat you. And in all those scenarios, counterspells are just not good. They're just too reactive. And even though it has a ton of hits, Spell Pierce and Dovin's Veto have a ton of hits. The cards that matter in this matchup are the creatures.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be on the play here for game 3.
That's right.
Game three. All right. How's your
Game 3.
Oh, let's take some questions.
All right, cool. So
we'll do quick hits, quick answers.
All right, quick hit number 1: the Force cycle in Modern Horizons. What are we thinking?
I think it's dope. I think the Force of Negation is quite good. The green one, whose name I can't remember, is really cool also. Though it feels way more like a sideboard card, and we're not used to really having pitch cards like that function like sideboard cards. So that's kind of an interesting thing to think about. I mean, I don't know any deck that's going to main deck a pitch disenchant.
Yeah, but there are definitely decks that are going to sideboard them.
Oh, absolutely.
Very good against Blood Moon out of Valakut decks.
Yes.
And very good, yes, out of, I don't know, really just Valakut decks is what I'm thinking. There's not a lot of like decks that have enough green cards to consistently want to play it.
I thought it might be kind of funny in what's the Hardened Scales Affinity Mirrors?
Gotta hold your Ancient Stirrings now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the worst Ancient Stirrings deck. All right, next.
Thoughts about Fact or Fiction?
Probably worse than Gifts Ungiven. Definitely worse than Mystical Teachings in the Wilderness Reclamation decks. But it means you don't necessarily have to play black if you want to play Wilderness Reclamation in Modern. I mean, I had a Teamer version that had Fact or Fiction and Reclamation on Versus Live 2-3 months ago, whenever we were testing out what might be in the set, and Fact or Fiction looks sweet. I mean, I went Growth Spiral into Fact or Fiction on 3 with Wilderness Reclamation. It was nuts. So
I think Fact or Fiction is good. I think it'll see play. Control decks will play it.
It also gets around Narset, and apparently Narset's a really big deal in Modern.
Yeah. So I think you'll see just a solid role player in control decks, any sort of late game deck. It's a really powerful card draw spell. You're drawing either 2 really good cards or 3 pretty good cards.
Yeah, and a lot of times in those decks, you really want to hit land drops, and oftentimes the 3-card pile is going to have a land in it.
Yep.
So
Canopies.
Canopy Cycle is probably way too good, I think. I think the red-white one for burn is way, way too good. I'm actually really surprised that they did it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that changes a lot of how aggressive decks build their mana base, and I mean that's fine if you want to give aggro a boost, right? And so that takes a little bit of pressure off combo decks to be really degenerate. But I mean, I think like the Is It one is going to go into Storm very easily. I think you were talking about putting at least 1, maybe 2 in the deck over the Sulphur Falls that you had.
Yeah, and Is It Phoenix? I want to try the blue-red one in Dredge. I mean, we don't have any of the real on-color ones for Dredge, but it's just such a good land in that deck.
Yeah, and I mean, oftentimes you get stuck against like a Rest in Peace needing to cast your creatures, and having these like kind of off-color, really powerful dual lands that can cycle allows you to sometimes just cast Dark Amoeba or Prize Amalgam. So I kind of like that too.
I'm concerned at the number of these that exist, but I know they've done testing with it, so hopefully, They didn't goof at all, but a high density of these kinds of lands could end up being problematic.
The thing that they're really, really powerful with is a big mana generator. And I think that Aether Vial is going to pair nicely with these and really going to potentially give us more Aether Vial decks, which might not be a bad thing. If the format moves more towards Aether Vial based and instead of being just like, very combo heavy, which has been in the past, I think that's fine.
I think cementing Aether Vial disruptive aggro decks as a pillar of Modern would be great.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, with this deck, you actually get the blue-green and Horizon Canopy and like a Bant Spirits deck if you want to play 8. And that just makes the versions that play Aether Vial just like way better. There's also a chance you want to be like a 3-color, maybe 4-color version of Humans and just play like a ton of these with Aether Vial.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's things to think about in how some new decks build their mana bases, and these are going to see a lot of play. And I'm just wondering if there's going to be decks that play like 10 or 12 of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's getting into the really dangerous territory.
Yep.
I don't think any deck's going to want more than 8. I think some people are going to try to play more than 8, and then they're going to immediately regret it when they get like hit with a Goblin Guide.
Yeah, I've played some really old standard decks that had a lot of pain lands in their mana base, and it gets rough.
I mean, have you ever played a match with humans where you just drew 2 Horizon Canopy as your only lands, and then like on turn 4 you're just like at 9 because your opponent attacked you once?
Yep.
All right, let's do one more.
Todd.
Yeah.
Will you play Nimble Mongoose in Team Redelver?
Probably not. And look, they might give me a really good reason, right? And that's fine. I actually think Hootie Mandrills is just far superior to Nimble Mongoose. Like, it depends on like the removal people play, but right now in Modern, like Fatal Push and Lightning Bolt are the 2 1-mana removal spells people play. Hootie Mandrills dodges both of those. It's also a 4/4, and you can't play both of those in the same deck because of how counterintuitive they are as far as using the graveyard. So I'm much more of a Hootie Mandrills fan personally, but plus it's Hoots Magoots. Can't go wrong with Hoots Magoots.
Yeah.
Hootie.
You're going to put 4 Nimble Mongooses in your Teamer box, though.
Oh yeah, they're 100%. They're gonna be in there.
They're gonna be
Whether or
in the
not I
box.
use them is a different story. All right, let's go ahead and get to game 3 here.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna have to. I got a mulligan. So
Yeah, I'm only going to no-lander.
I had a no lander also. Did I even shuffle? I think I did. All right, hit me again.
Diabolic Edict. Will it see play?
Worse than Liliana's Cruelty, and
Yeah.
also like we actually tested a little bit with Diabolic Edict as one of our cards, I think, and when we were doing the what we want from the set, and then they just gave us Liliana's Triumph,
Yeah,
right?
and Diabolic Edict. We just have them both now,
No,
but
now
Edict
it's-
is as bad.
Yeah, but all the black decks already want to play either Liliana Last Hope or Liliana the Veil, and now they just
Yeah.
have an edict that makes your opponent discard a card. That's nuts.
It's also an Edict that gets around like Shroud effects. It's each opponent
Right.
for Liliana's Triumph,
Right.
whereas Edict targets a player. So unless you want to target
Edict
yourself,
which comes up like roughly once every 3 tournaments or whatever when your opponent does like Lightning Helix your creature or whatever,
yeah,
is rare, but it does come up.
Have you two seen Chiller Pillar? This is a card that was just previewed.
I have
No,
not.
Chiller Pillar.
That cannot be a real
creature insect for 4 snow monstrosity 2. It's a 3/3. As long as it is monstrous, it has flying.
Wait, what's the cost for monstrous?
4 snow.
And what's the cost on the creature?
3 and a blue.
So it's a hill giant.
It's common.
So it's just a limited common.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Chiller Pillar. Come on.
It is a Chiller Pillar. Come on.
Well,
Let's go. Let's
It's
just play.
common.
Let's just play Magic.
I don't.
Oh, I drew 7
understand.
cards. You draw 7th. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. We are gonna
Wait,
scry.
are you scrying and drawing 7?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was
What?
about to scry.
What? I know I just
Todd,
cheated on
scry.
accident, but you cheated on purpose.
Well, I was reaching to scry, then you're like, "Oh, draw a card," and then it all got away from me.
Dracarys.
I'll leave it on
was-
top. Don't worry, it's
He
not
was
good.
affected by the Chiller Pillar.
My hand
bad.
is
My bad.
quite awkward.
Okay.
Steamy boy.
All right,
Todd's a steamy boy right now,
we're
too.
looking for white source, and we want to do this now in case it comes into play tapped, or so we don't deal damage.
Love the main phase opt.
Go.
Okay.
Thanks,
Well.
I hate it.
I will play a Tybalt to get a counter on Steamkin, attack you for 2, minus the Tybalt, and make a devil,
Okay.
and pass the turn. So you're at 18.
All right. I'm gonna play an Interplanar Beacon, but we're not gonna gain any life. I'm gonna play a Narset. This
Got him.
is really bad for me, by the way. 2, 3, 4. Obviously, 2 white sources in here. And I'm gonna play a Mox Amber. Let's say go.
Okay. I will. I guess I don't want to play my land yet. I will play a Runaway Steamkin and get a counter here.
Okay.
I will play a Fanatical Firebrand and get counters on both my Steamkins.
Okay.
I will attack Narset for 4 and you for 1.
I'm at
17.
17.
I will make 3 red.
Or, sorry, I'm going to opt before that happens.
Sure.
While it still works. Great.
Okay, second main, I'll make 3 red. 2 floating, I'll light up the stage. Get a counter on these.
This is really bad. land.
Runner.
I go?
No, I'm going to use the mana floating. I don't want to get with a sweeper, Deafening Clarion next turn. This at least gets 1 Steamkin up to 4. So deal you 3 14. And do I want to make another Devil? I don't think so, because I think Todd really wants a Clarion, so I might as well just save the Tibble. No white mana?
No. I had this trouble last night when I was playing the deck, so I'm going to go to 12. I'm going to play Saheeli, and then I'm going to Lava Coil the 4/4 Steamkin.
I'll make 3 red.
Yeah. Fast priority?
I got nothing.
Okay. Great.
Okay. That's not bad. So definitely gonna shoot that down. I'm gonna knock my deck over.
Come on, buddy.
Hey guys, it's okay. It's an accident.
Firebrand, get
way
a
too
counter.
comfortable.
Yep.
Attack Saheeli for 5 and you for 1.
11.
Now, because this is Surviving Clarion and you don't have white mana, I think I just want to apply pressure. So let's make a Devil now. That way you can rip White Source.
I sandbagged it the whole time. Just kidding. I don't have it. Even I can't cast a spell.
Okay.
My hand was 3 Sarkin and the Prison Realm.
Those are on lands, but I was attacking you to 4 next turn. That's
I'm dead.
difficult for you to beat.
That's unfortunate. My hand was not bad, right? I just needed White Source, and I had an opt to dig for it. It's just really unfortunate I missed, and then the Narset saw 2 White Source going by. I'm just like,
Classic Narset.
I will remember you. All right, so I'm going to be on the play here for game number 4. Any questions while we're shuffling up, Mr. Taylor?
Some question I actually had for us earlier is the new Pyromancer in Dredge. Possibility?
So I think it's going to be too slow as an enabler for Dredge.
Coward.
It's more like a Lingering Souls kind of card, like that you want in a deck like Mardu Pyromancer.
Yep.
You like pitch a dead discard spell and a Lingering Souls, you get your 2/1/1s and your 2/2. You're going to get to the late game where you have 5 mana and want to use it for a couple more 1/1s. So I look at it as more of a Mardu Pyromancer card than a Dredge card.
All right, here's a different kind of question. What if Dredge was just built differently?
In what way?
Well, it's already been slowed down quite a bit, right? With the removal of Greater Gargadon and Bridge from Below. Like that was like the combo element back when it was like first. No, I mean look. It used to be a bit faster, right? It had Greater Gargadon, Bridge from Below. It had Rally the Peasants, and as you know, things slowed down. That was like before the Life from the Loam was even in the deck. They still had like 1 Conflagrate or whatever. The original iteration.
I played 1 Conflagrate in the list I won Syracuse with, and I was very wrong to do so. All the other lists had more. Because I tried to add, like, the Gargadon Bridge thing was always...
You didn't have Life from the Loam. That was why it was bad.
I had a Life from the Loam. I certainly did. Life from the Loam was always a big part of the deck.
No, it wasn't.
The Bridge... It was the Bridge Gargadon list was the offshoot list. That was the weird one.
You really want to fight me on this?
I mean, I'm right.
Fight.
Who do you think gave you the deck for that tournament?
Well, the person who won the Classic with it.
Right, and then I said, hey, I'm going to play Dredge. And you're like, Dredge? I'm like, yeah, here's the list I've been working on. And then you played it.
Yeah, but it had been, like, it was... Who was it that?
It had, like, 2 Loam and 1 Conflagrate. I'm saying, Loam Conflagrate was not a major part of the deck. It was, like, the worst Dredger because we still had Grave Troll.
Yeah, Grave Troll is what gave the deck more speed. It slowed down when Grave Troll got banned, but then it sped back up like most of the way because of Creeping Chill.
Yeah, Creeping Chill.
And that's what made the deck good again.
Go. Just not even going to talk to you anymore.
That's going to make the show hard.
You know what? That's fine. We can not be friends.
Ross, I'll talk to you. I like Dredge a lot.
Dredge is great.
I like Dredge too. I was trying to make a point, and Ross just constantly contradicts me. Just always.
I'm not going to let you mislead the people. Ooh, that's not good. Getting your 2-drop shocked on the draw. Okay. I guess there's fewer 3-mana planeswalkers for Todd to take advantage of that tempo with, but I still feel behind here. Let's bring it to 19.
Go back up to 20.
Karn?
Karn and tick up.
You can have not Lyra.
Weird.
But I
Right,
want.
so I'm back up to 20.
Yep. You're going to go to 19, attack Karn for 3, and lightning strike it.
Okay.
Cannot let Todd get that Lyra.
All right, so it does still have a silver counter on it, so if I have the other Karn, I can get it back. Let's go another interplanar beacon. We're gonna Sarkin gain 2, go to 21, and I'm going to minus and make a dragon, and hope he can't kill the dragon, because if he does kill the dragon, he can kill Sarkin pretty easily.
Kill the dragon. Save the
Okay.
world.
Let's lightning strike and firebrand down the dragon. Play a lava runner, attack Sarkin for 2, and you for 3.
Okay,
Brings you to 18. Pass the turn. Lava runner, pretty good draw there. And looks like we're going to be playing a long game now that we've used a bunch of resources to deal with planeswalkers.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of this deck. You just like make all the players just interact. Let's go to Fairy
21.
And I'm just going to draw a card. And we're going to untap these.
The not beacons.
Yep.
Makes sense. Send both to Fairy. You got the shock?
Got Lightning Strike for the Chain Whirler.
Ooh, that's even better.
Go to 3.
And play a Chain Whirler. Have it go to 2. Play Mountain and pass.
No shock here. Very good for me.
Well, shocks aren't in my deck.
I know. Just saying.
Yeah, this is the turn where Todd started gaining traction, having the Teferi plus removal spell. When I was out of burn. Yeah, that's no bueno.
Your turn. Then I'll untap these two.
3 in hand.
Yep.
I think I'm just gonna go for this and hope Todd needs to -3 the Teferi. Play land for turn. That one I can't cast. Pass. Unless this frenzy just goes completely unanswered and it hits well, we are behind in this game.
All right. Let's start with the plus. I don't really want to minus on the Frenzy just yet. Play another Mobilized District. Activate this. Or sorry. Play Lyra. Activate this. Attack for 3.
Had the second Lyra.
That's pretty good.
And then we'll untap Mobilized District and Sacred Foundry.
I'm at 17.
Yep.
We're going to need to hit pretty well here. Land for turn.
Yep.
And second land. You can go. See how I can call things like that? It's the natural projective power of pessimism.
You gotta knock your deck next time. That's how this works. You knock on the door, and fate will answer you.
I mean, I think minusing on this frenzy and 11ing me seems like a... I guess you 11 me first and then minus?
Minus.
Okay.
Activate both these.
Yeah.
Attack for 11.
I mean, shouldn't you just do the attack first?
Sure. Do the attack first.
Okay. I'm at 6. You're at 26.
I have myself a 23, but okay. I probably miss gain 3.
Yeah, you missed a gain 3 off the Teferi.
All right. And so attack for 11, minus on that. Pass turn to you, which I assume you're going to kill something EOT.
I am not.
Okay.
I knew that land was there. So I am at 6.
If you didn't do anything at the end of turn, I'm pretty sure you're just dead. Or close enough.
And I know Frenzy is 2 cards down now, so this light up the stage can only really hit this top card.
No, it can hit the Frenzy.
Yeah, I mean to do something
Cast
relevant
and do
right now.
nothing. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're gonna play a Chain Whirler. Oof.
It's pretty good.
And you go to 25.
Yep.
And then I'll cast Light Up the Stage.
Okay.
Another mountain. We'll play that one, and we'll play a Firebrand, and that at least lets us live. Pass the turn.
Alright, cool. Chain Whirler.
I am dead.
Technically not. I can only
Oh, you can't
one.
activate. Okay. Not dead yet.
Alright, activate, attack. So it forces a chump.
Block, deal you 1, and then you gain 5. So you're at
30.
29.
Yeah, 29 to 1.
Perfect.
And
Uno.
land for turn. Your go.
Ross, you didn't say Uno.
Does that mean I draw 2 more cards? Okay. So
Game 5.
Frenzy. This thing.
Yep.
This land. I think I'm dead now. Yeah, another land.
All right. So you saw that game. It was a lot about how Ross was kind of bottlenecked early on into interacting with my planeswalkers. He also didn't have a 1-drop, so the lightning strike on turn 2 as my only form of interaction was quite good on the play. Karn drawing me a card while forcing Ross to spend 6 points of damage at it was huge. Drawing multiple interplanar beacons just made sure my life total was never really in jeopardy.
Yeah, and the extra beacons are further incentive for me to just fight over the planeswalkers and try to win a long game. I had Frenzy in hand, so I felt like I could win a long game. But
that's one thing you have to, as a red player, you need to figure out, like, if I have Frenzy, like, can I just afford to throw a bunch of stuff at planeswalkers? And usually the answer is yes.
Yeah, and you know that one turn where you had Teferi into Lightning Strike was enough of a swing that I just fell behind, and then obviously the Lyra is really tough to beat.
Yeah.
This district's also quite good in any game where I do go after your planeswalkers, because that's a grindy game. You know, they might cost a little bit more to activate, but you're going to have time to activate them, which is the more important resource on your end.
Yeah. All right, let's go to game 5. CU takes it down.
I'll be on the play.
I have 3 shocklands in my hand, but I think I have to key.
Excellent.
Excellent.
The games where you draw all shocklands or all checklands, those are the worst.
Wicked Darkstorm would like to know, how are the new chairs?
Nice. Well, we fell asleep on them twice,
so far.
Yeah.
Solid hand here, so easy keep.
Let's go.
Start on a Lava Runner. Let's play a Firebrand and attack for 2.
18.
You can go.
Go.
And Step Wizard's lightning you.
15.
Attack.
13.
Lightning strike you.
10.
9.
Okay, sure.
You can go.
7.
I have the Galarian.
Go.
This is going to be bad now. I need a land. Okay, we get the land, which is good.
I mean, I'm at 7, dude. I don't know. I'm at 6.
King Whirler, you go 6. You can go.
Lava Cool, that. Play Steam Events, tapped.
How's it feel to be on the edge, Todd?
Yes, that's where I live, baby. Literally drawn 6 shocklands.
Chain Whirler, you go 5. You can go.
Go. Am I dead? Nope.
Make a devil.
Yep.
You can go.
Pretty good.
Oh, no.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. Alright, let's go. Sarkin. Make a dragon. Kill Tibble. Go.
Oops.
Needs a 4-point burn spell to kill me. That doesn't exist. So that's good news for me. Could go Frenzy into land into Shock. Oh, I didn't play land.
I guess I'm dead. Said you're a mountain.
Yes.
So I wonder, I just shouldn't have cast any of my burn spells. I thought like I was stuck on lands because I missed my 3rd land drop.
I like casting your burn.
And then I just drew 4 lands after that.
Yeah.
So I ended up like being flooded and wanting to hold them, but I couldn't have predicted that. Just one of those weird games where you end up being both flooded and mana screwed in the same game.
Yeah, it's always pretty frustrating, honestly. So I completely understand.
I could have put myself in a better spot by playing the Tybalt before one of these Chain Whirlers. I would have ended up being another Devil, and then I would have only needed to draw a 3 damage burn spell to kill you.
I do like playing Tybalt earlier on, just to try to get that extra thing. The Chain Whirler is very good at pressuring planeswalkers or hitting them for the last point. Like if you play Tybalt and I go like Teferi minus, right? The Chain Whirler 1 damage to the planeswalker matters so much. Whereas the Devil, you know,
that would have been good. Would give me a redraw. But yeah, I am dead. You know, Lyra's really good.
Lyra's really good.
We don't have anything like Fight with Fire to cleanly answer it in our sideboard. And
even if you did, there's a chance you draw 5 with fire, and I just never play creatures.
yeah, it's an awkward card to even bring in this matchup.
All right. Let's take a few questions before we move on to the next match. Let's try to stick to Modern Horizons, because that's something if we got any.
Well, I will do one standard one because this person has been very patient.
Good questions are fine no matter what they are. So
well, I'm a scrub, so I don't know good questions. Force Landing versus Crawl Harpooner for side decks for sideboards against Phoenix type cards.
Depends on the type of deck you're playing, but I would almost always lean Crawl Harpooner. I think that, for example, like the Command the Dreadhorde decks want to play Crawl Harpooner because they just want to stock their graveyard. The same with like a Sultai or Golgari because you want to play Find Finality or whatever.
Yeah, Find Finality, Vivians, all encourage you to play creatures. So if you have any of these cards, like you at least want to include some number of them. Maybe you end up wanting a split because you think Force Landing is a better effect, but you definitely want some way to hit it off of these raised dead effects or Vivians that dig for creatures specifically, or command that returns creatures specifically. So
I think there are a lot of cards that specifically deal with flyers in standard right now, and I think Crawl Harpooner is just a good one. Every time my opponent plays Crawl Harpooner, I'm just like, ow.
But if you're playing, and it's just like something that you can play proactively. If they don't have a threat you want to kill,
exactly.
So I would lean Harpooner, but I could see decks that want to play Force Landing, like a really reactive deck that's sort of touching green.
Yeah.
If you're something like what Jonathan Job played in Dallas a few months ago, the Teamer Drake's deck, that kind of deck could easily play Force Landing instead because you're in the market for spells. You don't really utilize the body on Crawl Harpooner very well.
Right.
So then I would look landing. So it's really dependent on what you're doing. But right now, based on what most green decks in the standard format are doing, it's Crawl Harpooner.
Excellent. What are your thoughts about the fetch land for basics?
I think it's really good. I'm annoyed that they printed another fetch land because I think fetch lands are the biggest development mistake in the history of Magic. And I don't think it's particularly close.
I think dual lands are.
No.
I mean, I think that the fact that they just came out the gates with like lands that are better than island and mountain is not great.
Sure.
And like the shock lands are just kind of a symptom of that, and the fact that they count as island, mountain, or whatever, like, they're just trying to mirror something that Magic already had.
But they only got like really too good when in combination with fetch lands. I think a world where just dual lands and shock lands exist is a lot better than a world where just fetch lands exist.
I mean, that's probably fair, but I think just the older you get, though, the more it just doesn't matter. Like you look at like Humans in Modern, for example, and they literally just have 16 5-color lands or whatever. It's like, or 12, and like, who cares? Just do whatever you want, right?
Sure, there are some decks that get to play
the only thing that's
like that.
actually actively bad about fetch lands is that you just have to shuffle, and it just takes some time.
That's bad. The fact that they just provide so many like free synergies with so many different cards.
Sure.
They're just unbelievably busted.
Great. But everyone can play them.
That's true of every single broken card. That doesn't make them good.
No, that's not necessarily true.
You're telling me you wouldn't be able to play Skull Clamp, or like you wouldn't be able to play Mental Misstep if it were legal? Who wouldn't be able to play Mental Misstep? I'm not sure what you're getting at here.
I'm not sure what you're getting at here. Next question.
Someone asked about Fist of Flames. Are we aware of this card?
This is the Holy Diva card. It's colorless red, draw a card, and a creature gets a +1/+0 until end of turn for each card you've drawn. It's an instant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just cantrip a bunch, and then it's basically Teamer Battle Rage that cantrips.
Next question. I don't know. I mean, that card seems really hard to build around. It's kind of like Storm almost.
Yeah, but it's a cool card.
It is cool. That's that's impossible to evaluate off the cuff.
Well, here's my one evaluation of it.
And Trample.
And it's Untrample. If that card sees play, it will see play in decks that I like.
Yeah.
You get I like playing a bunch of cheap cantrips and attacking, and that's what that card is, the intersection of those two things.
Sure, it's just another card that makes Metamorphose stupid.
Yeah.
What do you guys think
Ancestral Vision? I don't know.
I mean, the word. Sorry, real quick before we get to that, the floor is +2/+0 draw card while attacking and trample.
Yeah,
and that's for 2 mana. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good point. You want to evaluate cards like that based on what their floor is, because you can very obviously see some potential with like weird broken turns, where you're cycling through your deck a little bit and then get a huge number. But what is it by itself?
Instead. Haste would be way cooler.
+2/+0, trample, draw a card.
I just wanted to play it with Bedlam Reveler, but like you can't really do that because it gives it trample, not haste. I want to give it haste.
Then you want the one from standard, right?
Maximize velocity. Yeah, it doesn't give it trample or cycle.
I want trample and haste, and for it to cost 0 mana.
Yeah,
and draw 2 cards.
Sounds like you just want to play Feather.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
What was it? Oh yeah. Lightning Skelemental.
Is that the Bulb Lightning?
Bulb Lightning.
Cards like Ball Lightning haven't really seen play in Modern ever, and I think that is because it's not consistent. If you're playing against control deck and you want to deal 6 to them, it's going to require your opponent to not have a piece of interaction. And if they do have interaction, your spell effectively does nothing except trade 1 for 1. Now, if this card ever hits basically any deck in the format, if you hit a combo deck with a Bulb Lightning, they are probably dead because they need a massive amount of resources. And if you're applying pressure in other ways, 6 damage is just enormous. But if you play against a deck like a control deck or an aggro deck or whatever, like it's not really the type of card you're going to want against them because they usually have like an extra land lying around and they can afford to take a hit of damage for the most part. So I think the card is very situationally good, but in general, I don't think it's going to see play.
Based on your evaluation, which I agree with, I think if it sees play, it'll be as a sideboard card.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's good in the like Rakdos burn deck with Bump in the Night and stuff that people have been playing because sometimes against combo, stripping them of 2 cards is huge. And for 3 mana to deal 6, like they're not going to have a way to stop that for most of the time. So, I mean, I could definitely see it being a sideboard card in a deck like that, and I could even potentially see it in the main deck of a card like that, or in a deck like that. So, I don't know. The problem is, like, when you start combining a discard effect with stuff like Bump in the Night or Lava Spike, which is just kind of inherently card disadvantage, your spells don't really mesh together. And I think that's definitely something to just keep in mind when you're building and trying out these new cards.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about the sort of 3 prongs of Magic that Pat Chapin wrote about many years ago, where there's tempo, card advantage, and the philosophy of fire, your life total, as the 3 like, sort of axes on which you can win a game. When you're gaining tempo and card advantage at the same time, they really go nicely together. The life total aspect of philosophy of fire doesn't mesh as well with the other 2. And if it meshes well, and it certainly meshes better with tempo and playing to the battlefield, because you can press that life total advantage when you're ahead on the battlefield than it does with card advantage, which is why you don't see like burn decks playing a lot of card draw spells. So this card does play awkwardly in that respect, but it's such a backbreaking card against specifically a combo deck because it advances your game plan while disrupting them that I can see it as a sideboard option there.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more and then we're going to move on.
What do you think about Force of Vigor and Dredge? And as a sideboard card, which is the
green one?
That is the green one.
I mean, you lost 4 green cards with Grave Troll. Like, is Life and Loam the only green card in the deck? In the main deck?
Yeah.
Yep. You have to exile it too, right? It's not even discard. So I think you have to play probably 16 other cards of the color of the pitch cards at the very minimum for them to be good. I think you need roughly 20 green cards in your deck, including the card. Much like, I mean, it's less. And so Legacy, like with Force Will, that's kind of the Force Will rule. Is perhaps you can pull that back a little bit for Modern because games tend to go a turn or 2 longer on average. And so you just have like a couple more draw steps to find it. But certainly a Dredge deck with only 4 life in them, you cannot play a pitch green card.
Not only do you have more time to draw, these Force cards are priced to be hardcast a little bit more readily than Force Will
4
was.
mana.
So 4 mana on this, the black one's 3 mana.
What does the black one do? I haven't even seen it yet.
Destroy all creatures that entered the battlefield this turn. 1 BB.
What?
Force of Despair.
Yeah. kill all creatures that came in
Enter the battlefield
this turn.
Yes.
And it's got awesome Seb McKinnon art.
Yeah, only 3 mana. Instant.
And with that...
So
what?
Yeah, that's what it does. So the fact that these are more easily hard castable means that you're not as punished for not having the card to pitch to it.
Sure.
So maybe you can soften that requirement down to 12 or 14. But yeah, certainly Life Emblems is such a key part in Dredge that you don't want to pitch it. Obviously, you're also probably using it to kill some sort of graveyard hate card, which makes it difficult to get the loam into your hand, even to pitch it. You'd have to draw it naturally. So,
what about playing Golgari Brownscale?
Yeah, boy.
What? Got to gain that life, and it's another green card to pitch.
Just play Gnaw to the Bone or whatever.
Yeah, okay. All right. We're going to take a short break here. We're going to continue with the Jeskai Super Friends Gauntlet in just a few minutes. Can we do 5 instead of 10?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to just take a 5-minute break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for more Versus Live.
what about nap time?